What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Draft Ranking Show. I'm Cody Carpentier, and today we're back talking about the linebackers. It's not the funnest position. It's not a fantasy relevant position, but it's important to the NFL draft ethos. We're inside of 2 weeks until the NFL draft live in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and I'm excited. I just finished up completely. I'll be finishing up all my positions over the course of the next couple of days and doing shows about each position as we wind down to the draft. That'll be the bulk of kind of what's coming over the course of the next 2 weeks. But linebackers complete. And I'm going to talk through it today. I'm going to talk through my top 10 linebackers that are graded for the 2025 NFL draft. And it's interesting at the top. I guess we'll just start at the top. I know it's Saturday, and that was special guest Saturday. I try to get a special guest on every single Saturday. I'm working on some stuff for post-draft and going into next year when I get a full slate on this channel, on this show, to get some guests going. But, man, if you guys want to go tag Alex Dunlap on Twitter, at Alex Dunlap NFL, this guy, man, I do shows with him every single day, twice a day, every single day. And I can't get him on here for one simple 10-minute show for the fine people that tap in for the Draft Ranking Show. So go tag him on Twitter and tell him he's a coward. Tell Alex he's a coward. Just do that. All right, our top linebacker. We'll start at number 1. I don't know. I could go backwards. I could go 10-1, but I'm going to go 1 to 10. I don't classify him as a inside linebacker. Classify Jihad Campbell more as an outside linebacker. Played 637 snaps inside the box this last year at Alabama, 112 off the edge. I really think that in this class, Jihad at 6'2", 7'8", nearly 6'3", 235 pounds, he's got some versatility that should lead him to be more of a outside linebacker in its truest form. So I think of like a 3-4 outside linebacker, got standing up, coming off the edge, able to play able to play inside and potentially be a Mike, but I think he's a good mover in space. He covers wide receivers and tight ends very well. His play recognition, I don't think it's the same level as his play partner at Alabama, Deontay Lawson, who I think is a true Mike for Bama, but Jihad Campbell, very good mover, dedicated blitzer that can finish. And that's why I think he may be dedicated better to a 3-4 outside linebacker, which can be considered edge. So I'm not going to have him ranked at linebacker, I think, when I actually release this, but I think I'm going to have him more of like a tweener, outside linebacker / edge for Jihad Campbell, coming in at number 1. Number 2 is going to be Carson Schweschinger from UCLA, 6'0", 242 pounds. He came in with a second-round grade for me, and I should say Jihad Campbell came in with a 6'3", second-round grade as well. So Schweschinger came in at right there, second-round grade from UCLA. Schweschinger's a good backer. I think when you think about linebacker in its truest form, this guy played 371 snaps in the box, 70 off the edge, 68 out in the slot. He played 3 seasons at North Carolina. I'm thinking about pause. Was reading the wrong profile. That's not Schweschinger. Schweschinger played 620 snaps. I was going to say he didn't play 300. 620 snaps in the box, 37 off the snap. Great run recognition, great block evasion. He can get happy feet sometimes in coverage, which causes him to lose some ground. But I think his ability to change course in the middle of a play and jump between gaps, closing burst is top notch. Schweschinger is right there with Campbell for me. So he's going to be the top linebacker, like I said, when I have Jihad technically classified as an outside linebacker / edge rusher. So there's 1, 2. Number 3 will be Jeffrey Bossa from Oregon. Some people have him a little bit lower than this. I have him 3rd overall. He ran a 4.62 at 6'01", 228 pounds. He'd be 23 years old this year. 484 of his snaps came in the box, less than 50 off the edge, and 57 came from the slot. This guy's played over 2,300 snaps in his collegiate career, just 168 tackles. It's not, I think what I came away with, my big takeaway from this whole class is just, it's sort of underwhelming from a linebacker's perspective. I have technically 4 second-round grades. I got 2 guys that are on the fringe 3rd-round grades, 2 guys that are 3rd, 4th rounds, 3/4, a 5th, a 6th, and a 6/7th. That's inside the top 15, to give you an example. It's not the deepest class, but it's a good solid group here between Schwessinger, Bassa, Cody Simon, Demetrius Knight, Smile Munden, guys that I have kind of considered in that second round or early third round conversation. So Bassa from Oregon, like I just said a minute ago, exceptional athlete in space, a mover in coverage, despite allowing 86% completion percentage in coverage. A lot of these linebackers allowed north of 75, 80, 85%. So this is just one of the higher percentages. You don't normally see these guys get over 90. 90 is terrible. Sideline to sideline rage, even though he isn't the great tackler, he affects the play in those situations. Next is Cody Simon from Ohio State. This guy in his truest form, when you turn the tape on, I just want Cody Simon on my football team. That's just kind of what my biggest takeaway with Simon is. Simon's a stud. 649 snaps inside the box, modern middle linebacker. So he's not your old school. There's an old school backer in here from Penn State, Kobe King, 6'006, so 6 6/8 of an inch, almost 6'1. 243 pounds. He is a brick. He is loaded in the pants. He's heavy. And this is your old school, like when you think of like Ray Lewis was taller, but like you think of like that Ray Lewis, that Brian Urlacher, that big body that's not going to be able to go sideline to sideline like the modern day, let's say, Fred Warner, let's say your modern day Levante David, things like this. That's not going to be Kobe King from Penn State, who's a little bit further down the list. But Cody Simon, kind of your modern day guy, ran a 4.6 flat, could be a little bit quicker, but top notch range, sideline to sideline, great tackler in 1v1 situations. He missed the season opener this past year with an undisclosed injury, missed his one game in 2021 with the shoulder injury. He's not always aggressive in play recognition, but he does do a good job of recognizing and attacking. Hit 110 snaps in the slot this past year. Number 5 overall, if you count Jihad Campbell, Demetrius Knight from South Carolina, ran a 4.58 at the combine, 6'015, 235 pounds. This guy's an old man. He's 25 years old. He's going to be playing this season at 25 years old. I like Demetrius Knight quite a bit. Third school, played 4 seasons at Georgia Tech, 1 season at Charlotte, and then finished at South Carolina this past year. Played right next to Debo Williams, who was the leader of that defense. Not a great processor, but he picks it up just in time. Lean in lower quarter. Like I said, he's 235 pounds, but he carries the weight different. It's weird. Dependable tackler with a punishing finish. He plays 61 career games at the linebacker position. Again, a lot of that came at Georgia Tech, then a year at Charlotte, and then to South Carolina. Demetrius Knight comes in at 5. Smile Munden from Georgia. A little bit lower, I think, than consensus. I have some of my peers have him a little bit higher, but I think Smile Munden is solid. He only had 302 snaps this year, dealt with some injuries, smooth navigator around the line of scrimmage. He had a foot injury in 2024, causing him to miss 4 games, a foot injury in 23, an ankle injury in 22. So you're kind of catching on to the injury history with him. He's a bit stringent in like the neutral movements, the natural movements where he should be moving naturally, but he's kind of got this it's almost like a lag. It's almost like kind of a lag in his gait when he's running across the field and doing certain things that just should come more natural to a linebacker. I think he's a little cautious in flow, but he's above average when you talk about getting sideline to sideline navigating, mirroring the ball carrier at the line of scrimmage and being able to process what's happening on the opposite side of the line of scrimmage. So Smile Munden comes in at 6. Danny Stutzman from Oklahoma, 6'032, 233 pounds, ran much faster at the combine than what he presents on tape. On tape, Stutzman played almost every snap in the box. A couple snaps came off the edge, but he gets caught in traffic a good amount. Again, not a massive tackler. He's not a guy that, he racked up the tackles a couple of years ago, but this past year did not rack up the tackles per se at Oklahoma, even though he went back and won all these awards and stuff. I was not the most impressed with Stutzman. He's a good backer. He's more of your throwback backer, though. He's more of that 6'3", like I said, 232, not going to move a ton, but he's going to own the box. He's going to run the box. He's going to stay kind of in his lane, I guess you'd say, for Danny Stutzman. My comp for Stutzman, I should be talking about my comps as I go through here too, but Drew Sanders was my comp for Danny Stutzman. He's kind of a second, third round grade for me is Stutzman. He's fine. I know there's people that are much higher on him than I am. He also declined his Senior Bowl invite. So he did get invited, but he declined it for whatever reason. He's not the top linebacker in the class. But Barrett Carter from Clemson comes in next at 8. 6 foot flat, 232 pounds, ran a 4.63. Big Carter fan. I think he's going to be a third-round guy. Reminded me of a former Clemson linebacker as well, Jeremiah Trotter Jr., who was drafted last year to the Philadelphia Eagles. Carter played a ton in the box, 120 snaps off the edge. Only missed one game each of the last 2 seasons, 2022 and 2023, with a concussion and an ankle injury. Another one of these guys that only 174 career tackles on 2,500 snaps. I want to see these guys that are playing over 2,000 snaps up into that 250, 300 tackle range. Not quite there. Think he's a little decisive far too often in overflow. Good field speed, but he lacks what you'd expect from a backer moving around as much as he does. And he allowed 5 touchdowns in coverage this last year. We're at the 10-minute mark, so let's skim through the back end of these guys. That was Barrett Carter, who came in at 8. We got Chris Paul Jr., Pooh Paul from Ole Miss. He comes in at 9. We have Kobe King, who I talked about before, at 10. And then Jackson Woodard from UNLV, 6'0", 230 pounds, a redshirt senior that ran a 4.87 from UNLV. He comes in with a 4th-round grade, and I comped Jackson Woodard to the one and only James Onwualu from Notre Dame. Woodard's a good backer, man. There's a lot here. Played 3 seasons at Arkansas, 2 at UNLV. Everything came in the box pretty much, 62 snaps off the edge. He could use some more sand in the shorts for sure. He could add some weight in that bottom half, bottom quarter. Questionable rush plans when he's on blitz. Great project linebacker, I think, that can play in a pinch and definitely contribute on special teams. So there's your linebacker group. I'll go back through it really quickly. Number 1, we'll go Jihad Campbell. Outside linebacker is my general thought, though, for Jihad. Carson Schweichinger, Jeffrey Bostic, Cody Simon, Demetrius Knight, Smile Munden from Georgia, Danny Stutzman comes in at 7, Barrett Carter from Clemson at 8, Chris Pooh Paul from Ole Miss, Kobe King at 10, and then Jackson Woodard, if you get rid of Campbell, would be the 10th linebacker. I'm Cody Carpentier with the Draft Ranking Show. Be back tomorrow. Keep on crushing, everybody. We'll get to the draft soon enough.